I, 32 male, met my ex-girlfriend, 28 female, at a mutual friends party 7 years ago. The connection was instant. She was beautiful, funny, and seemed genuinely interested in me. After dating for just 3 months, we decided to become exclusive. The first 2 years of our relationship were incredible. We moved in together after a year, adopted a dog together, and started talking about our future. I truly believed I had found my person. The first incident happened during our 3rd year together. I was working late one night and came home to find my girlfriend acting strangely. She was jumpy, kept checking her phone, and seemed distant. When I asked what was wrong, she brushed it off as work stress. I might have believed her if her phone hadn't kept lighting up with notifications that she was clearly trying to hide. That night, while she was showering, I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked her phone. My heart dropped when I saw the messages from a coworker named Kyle. They were explicit, discussing their encounter from earlier that evening and planning when they could meet again. The messages detailed how they'd been meeting in his car during lunch breaks, and even once in the conference room after everyone had left for the day. When confronted, she broke down immediately. She confessed that she'd been sleeping with Kyle for about 2 months. She blamed it on feeling neglected because of my work schedule and swore it was just physical, that she still loved me and only me. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as she sobbed, promising it would never happen again. I was devastated, but also terrified of losing her. After weeks of tears, arguments, and promises, I decided to give her another chance. She deleted Kyle's number, changed jobs, and started going to therapy. For a while, things seemed better than ever. Then, one day, about a year later, I decided to surprise her at the gym. I'd been planning to take her to dinner afterward as a celebration for her recent promotion. Instead, I found her in the parking lot in her personal trainer's car, straddling him in the front seat. They were so engrossed they didn't even notice me standing there, watching through the window for almost a full minute. When they finally saw me, the look on her face wasn't even surprise. It was annoyance at being caught. The trainer quickly pushed her off his lap. She scrambled out of the car, clothes disheveled, lipstick smeared. The image burned into my memory. "It's not what it looks like," she said, the most cliched line possible in that moment. "Really? Because it looks like you were about to have sex with your trainer in a parking lot," I replied, my voice strangely calm despite the hurricane raging inside me. The cycle repeated. Tears, apologies, promises to change. She claimed the trainer had pursued her aggressively, and she'd been weak in a moment of insecurity about her body. I was angry, hurt, and embarrassed, but still couldn't imagine my life without her. So once again, I forgave. She switched to gyms, started therapy again, having quit after a few months the first time, and suggested we try couples counseling. During these sessions, she seemed genuinely remorseful and committed to making our relationship work. Then came the business trip incident. She had to travel for a conference, and I trusted her completely. She called every night, sent pictures of the conference events, and seemed to be having a productive professional experience. Until a week after she returned, when I received a Facebook message from a woman I didn't know. "I think you should know your girlfriend slept with my husband during the conference in Chicago." She included screenshots of their messages, arranging to meet in his hotel room. The messages made me physically ill. My girlfriend, describing what she wanted him to do to her, sending photos of herself in lingerie I had bought her for our anniversary. When confronted, my girlfriend claimed it was just one drunken mistake that meant nothing. The messages clearly showed it was planned and happened multiple times throughout the conference. Still, somehow she convinced me that this was her rock bottom, that seeing how much this betrayal hurt me had finally made her realize what she stood to lose. For almost 2 years, I believed she had changed. We were talking about marriage, looking at houses in the suburbs, even discussing when we might start trying for a baby. Then came the day that shattered everything. I was using her laptop to print some documents when a notification popped up from an email account I didn't recognize. It was a recovery email for a secret Gmail account. After everything we'd been through, she still had hidden accounts. With shaking hands, I used the recovery option to reset the password. What I found destroyed me: years of emails between my girlfriend and multiple men, some from before we even met, but many throughout our entire relationship. There were 4 main people she had ongoing affairs with, including Kyle and the trainer, plus numerous one-time encounters. The secret email contained hotel receipts, explicit photos, and detailed accounts of their meetings. There were messages from last week when she'd told me she was working late but was actually meeting someone at a hotel less than a mile from our apartment. There were messages planning encounters for next week when she'd told me she needed to visit her sick aunt. The most devastating discovery wasn't just the extent of her betrayal, but the way she talked about me in these emails. In one, she joked about how gullible I was, how easily I believed her excuses. In another, she referred to me as her safety net: reliable, stable, but boring compared to her other relationships. I read message after message where she mocked my trust in her, where she detailed how she'd manipulated me into forgiving her previous indiscretions. I printed out dozens of the most damning emails, arranged them chronologically, and placed them on the dining table. Then I waited for her to come home. When she walked in that evening, she immediately sensed something was wrong. Her eyes darted to the papers on the table, then back to my face. For a moment, she looked genuinely confused. Then recognition dawned, followed quickly by panic. "What is this?" she asked, her voice already breaking. 7 years of lies, I replied, sliding one particularly graphic email toward her. 7 years of me being your backup plan while you lived your real life with these other men. At first, she tried to claim the account was old and inactive. When I showed her emails from just 3 days prior, she switched to minimizing, saying it was just online flirting, nothing physical. When I pointed out the hotel receipts, she finally broke down. "I never wanted to hurt you," she sobbed. "I love you more than anyone. These other men don't mean anything." "If they don't mean anything, why risk our relationship repeatedly for them?" I asked. She had no answer beyond, "I don't know what's wrong with me." The most chilling moment came when I asked her a simple question. "Was there ever a time in our entire relationship when you weren't cheating on me?" She stared at me, opened her mouth to speak, then closed it again. Her silence told me everything I needed to know. I asked her to leave that night. She went to stay with a friend, bombarding me with texts and calls, alternating between apologies and accusations that I was overreacting. Her final attempt to salvage things was claiming she had an addiction and needed my support rather than abandonment. In the weeks that followed, I discovered even more betrayals. Mutual friends reluctantly admitted they'd seen her with other men, but hadn't known how to tell me. One of her affairs had been with my friend's brother. Another had been with a neighbor in our building, someone I'd greeted regularly, not knowing he was sleeping with my girlfriend when I was at work. The aftermath was predictably messy. Separating our lives after 7 years together wasn't easy. The hardest part was accepting that the person I loved never really existed. The woman I built my life around was a careful construction, showing me only what she thought I wanted to see while living a completely different life in the shadows. It's been a year since I ended things. Trust doesn't come easily anymore. I've had opportunities to date, but find myself analyzing every word, questioning every late night at work, scrutinizing every text message. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, convinced I've missed some obvious sign that history is repeating itself. After months of no contact, she reached out recently. She's still in therapy, still claiming to be working on herself. She asked if we could meet for coffee, just to talk. I declined. Some broken things can't be fixed, and some trust can never be rebuilt. For those in similar situations, wondering if you should give someone another chance after infidelity, I can't tell you what to do. Everyone's relationship is different, but ask yourself, are they truly remorseful or just sorry they got caught? Are they taking concrete steps to change or just making empty promises? And most importantly, can you truly forgive without constantly looking over your shoulder? In my case, I kept convincing myself that each betrayal was the last one, that she had finally learned her lesson. I was wrong every time. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is accept that someone's actions speak much louder than their apologies. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking stories.